Hey guys, Steven here from Airsoft Tech, and today I'm bringing you guys the video review of the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C, the C standing for the compact version. And if you're interested in picking this gun up after the review, I will put a link down in the description to Airsoft GI where you can purchase it for around $139. There also is a bigger version of the gun, which is just called the Smith & Wesson M&P 9, and that will run you about $149, so only about a $10 difference between the two. I will put both links though for both guns down in the description to Airsoft GI, so you can purchase whichever one you think you'd like more. Anyway, starting with the review, this is the box you will be getting when you do go ahead and buy the gun. As you can see, I will zoom in. It just says Smith & Wesson with their nice logo on the left. On the top right, regular gas-powered soft air 6mm BBs. In the middle, you get a nice blueprint of the pistol itself. And then down below, it just says blowback M&P 9C series. So, you know, not anything special with the box. But now that you've seen the box, why don't we take a look at what comes inside. Alright guys, so now taking a look at what comes in the box, the first thing that you will see are two more different sized back straps. So there's a total of three, the first one being the one pre-installed on the gun, which is the medium sized one, and the two you are currently looking at right now, the one on the left is the smallest sized one, and the one on the right is the largest sized one. So you get a total of three, small, medium, and large. You can kind of play around with them, see whichever one you think feels best, and I will show you guys how to swap them out and how to change them if you do need to go ahead and change the back strap. But anyways, moving on to those little plastic pieces over there. The first one being the black piece on the left. What that does is you put that in the magazine as if you were filling the magazine up with BBs. You fill the magazine up with gas, and then you put the magazine in the gun, and it basically lets you dry fire the gun. So the gun thinks that little black plastic piece is a BB. So you just put that, you pull down the spring, you put that little piece usually where the BBs go, and the gun thinks it's a BB, and you can now dry fire the gun without having to worry about a BB going or a BB coming out of the barrel, potentially hurting someone. So that's very nice that they do include that. But anyways, moving on to that, to the right of that, we do have the orange flash hider, as you guys can see. You just have to be a little bit careful, as there are a little bit of threads and some glue. So what I would do, what I did is just take a wrench, clamp it on there, give it a nice little twist, and you should break the seal of the glue, and then you can just go ahead, screw it off with your fingers. Very easy to remove, and I think the gun looks a whole lot nicer when you do go ahead and remove it. But lastly, what you will also get is the manual. Zoom out a little bit, might get a little dark. But yeah, so lastly you will get the manual. Nothing special here. There's 4 pages, but I'm just showing you one of the pages. So I will talk about everything though, so there's no need to really go over the manual all that much. And also to include one more thing, there are 2 more pieces that come in the box that I've already pre-installed on the gun, and I will point them out when we get into the actual review. So without further ado, you guys, why don't we actually take a look at the last and final thing you will be getting when you get this Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. Alright guys, so lastly we'll obviously get the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C itself. First thing I just want to say, I'm not sure how good the camera is picking up the trademarks, as they are pretty hard to see on the camera. I'm not sure how good the quality is. So I will have a different segment of the video specifically dedicated to showing you guys the trademarks up close and making sure you guys get a clear shot of them. But anyways, I will point them out regardless. Up top here it just says M&P 9C, stainless, got the Smith & Wesson logo, got the same logo down here on the bottom of the pistol grip, same logo right here, as well as the same logo right there. And underneath here, just one quick thing, it just says Smith & Wesson. Again, not sure if you can see that, but up top here it just says caution, capable of firing with magazine removed, Smith & Wesson, Springfield, Massachusetts, United States of America. And in the beginning of the video, I said that there were 2 additional pieces that came in the box when you buy it, but I already have them pre-installed on the gun. So what they were was, the first one is this metal piece right here that has a serial number on it, and underneath it just says made in Taiwan. It's a little space right here. All you have to do is take it, pop it in, and just push it, and it stays in place pretty nicely. So I guess it's just supposed to make the gun look more realistic. I definitely do like the look of it. But anyways, the second piece, or pieces, were the iron sights, or the plastic iron sights, as you guys can see right there. And all it is a white piece and a clear plastic piece. You just put the 2 pieces together and you pop them in the slots, as you guys can see, the front iron sight as well as the 2 rear iron sights. And it just makes the gun look a whole lot nicer, as well as aiming. Aiming is just a lot easier when these are installed on the gun. But anyways, those are the 2 pieces. that I was talking about earlier in the video. But anyways, getting to the review now. Up top we have a full metal slide, and on the bottom we have a full plastic lower receiver, but it's made out of like high quality ABS plastic. It does not feel cheap whatsoever. It just feels like it's sturdy. It feels like it's made out of really good materials, and that's why you have to pay $140 for the gun. It just, the materials they used are just fantastic. It does not feel cheap whatsoever. But starting from the front of the gun, obviously again we have our M&P 9C logo with our full metal slide, as well as our metal front iron sight. Underneath here we have our ABS plastic small Picatinny rail that you can mount a small flashlight or laser, but make sure you get a laser flashlight that's small enough and it's not too big where it's like sticking out all the way out here and it'll look silly. So just make sure you find one that's small enough to fit under there. And then over here we have our thread, so you can screw on a mock suppressor. And inside we have our full metal inner barrel, and if we just cock the slide back real quick, we have our full metal outer barrel. So fairly nice. But moving down now, in the middle again we have the trademark stainless, and underneath that this is the switch where it allows you to take off the slide. And I'm not going to show you guys, well I'll show you guys how to do it, but I'm not actually going to do it because mine just won't come off. I don't know why. I really have to push it, and I'm just scared I'm going to break something. And really the only reason you would take the slide off is if you have to swap out a broken piece, or if you want to adjust the hop up. And that is pretty important, adjusting the hop up. But for some reason mine came like pre-installed or pre-adjusted or something like that, because my BBs, I don't know, they just fly perfectly straight, so there's no need for me to take off the slide. But how you do it is you just rock the slide back till it stops, you take out the magazine, you flick this down just like so, and you just click the slide release and this slides forward, and you can kind of just wiggle it off. But for some reason mine just won't come off, and I just can't figure out why. But anyways, below that we have our trigger and trigger guard, as you guys can see, and this is where our safety is. If you guys can see that right there, that little piece right there sticking out, that is our only safety on this gun. And I find that pretty weird, as a small or a younger child could get a hold of this and they don't know what the safety is, or they don't know anything's loaded, and they can go ahead and pull the trigger and potentially hurt someone. So I'm not sure why there's not a second safety, but the safety is you cannot pull the trigger from up top, as you guys can see. You can only pull it from down below. So as you guys can see, when you pull the trigger, that piece goes in, and that safety is now released. So when you do that, then you can pull the trigger all the way. Up top, you cannot do that. So that's again, that's the only safety on the gun. Pretty funny how that's the only safety, but it's whatever. Just make sure you're mature with this gun. Make sure you know what you're doing, and make sure it's not loaded indoors or anywhere where you're not supposed to be firing the gun. But anyways, below that now, here we have our mag release button, as you guys can see, and here we have our full metal magazine, which holds 16 rounds. On the bottom is where you fill your magazine with either propane or green gas, again with our two nice trademarks. On the side, just have some numbers here. Maybe that's on the real firearm. Not sure why they have that. But in the middle here, we have our spring to load our BBs. Again, only 16 BBs can go in here. And then we have our plastic lip and our gas release button. So if there's any extra gas that you want to get rid of, just push that and it just spews at the top. So pretty small magazine, but again, this is a pretty compact gun, hence the name compact. But anyways, moving on, here we do have our back strap. As you guys saw in the beginning of the video, that there are 3 different back straps. In a different segment of this video, I will show you guys how to swap them out, but it is very nice that they do include 3 different back straps. But anyways, moving on now, this is our metal slide release, as you guys saw. So all you got to do is, if you're firing and you get your last BB and you shoot, and the slide stays back, and you take out your magazine, you got another one filled up with gas and BBs, just put it in and press the slide and you're ready to fire. So that's what it is, and it is ambidextrous. You have it on both sides. So again, cock the slide back, is ambidextrous, so very nice. I did see some reviews online that said it's not ambidextrous and that this side is just functional, and I don't know why they said that. Maybe theirs is broken or something, or maybe I just got lucky with mine. I don't know, but mine works on both sides, so very nice. But anyways, moving back here now, we have our rear iron sight, as you guys can see, and I apologize if you hear that dog in the background. I'm not sure if you can, but it's quite loud, and I do apologize about that. But anyways, near the back here, we have a really nice pattern. It's on both sides, and it just makes it easier to grip. As you guys can see, if you're gripping it like this or like this, however you cock the gun, I don't know, just pretty nice though that they have that. It's pretty nice. It adds a cool effect to the gun. It just makes the gun even more unique than it already is. But yeah, so that's the overall the review of the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. Hopefully you enjoyed it. But now, why don't I get you guys the close-up shots of the trademarks. Again, not sure if it's good enough like this, but even if it is, I will get a really, really close-up view of the trademarks. So why don't we go ahead and check out the trademarks. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed those close-up shots of the trademarks. Again, I'm not sure if they look just fine like this. However, I just wanted to be sure and give you guys a nice close-up shot of all the trademarks, as they are very nice. But now, I'm going to show you guys how to swap out the back straps in case you do not like it and you want to change them, or you just want to play with them, play around with them and see whichever one fits best. So first what you're going to want to do is take your magazine out. Next, you're going to want to take this piece down here, turn it halfway, just like so. Pull the piece right on out. That will now let you take off the current back strap, as you guys can see. Get the back strap that you are going to replace it with. In this case, I have the largest back strap, as you guys can see. Put it on just like so. Make sure it's nice and snug. Make sure it's on all the way. Put the piece back on and push it. It is a little bit harder to push once you swap it out for some reason. I don't know, but it's just like that. And then next, just turn it like that so it's lined up just like so. And then you can go ahead and put the magazine back in. And right away I can feel the difference. This is much thicker than the previous back strap. So again, this is the largest back strap. The one that was just on was the medium sized one, and then there's the smallest size one. And how the sizes range, or how you can tell which is the biggest or whatever, is the thickness of all the back straps. It's not by like the height or like the texture or something like that. I don't know what you could think of to describe the different sizes of the back straps, but the one key factor is the thickness of each back strap, and that's what makes this one the largest, as this is the thickest, definitely the biggest. As you can see, my thumb actually kind of has to strain. I kind of have to stretch it out to get to the mag release button, so I don't really like the largest one. The medium one for me fits just fine. The only problem I have with this gun is the overall length of the pistol grip. As you can see, my pinky kind of hangs over the bottom of the magazine, as this is part of the magazine. So my pinky kind of hangs over, but again, this is the compact version, so if you have smaller hands, I would definitely recommend this. If you have huge hands or big hands, I would definitely recommend maybe getting the full version, but again, totally up to you. It's not that big of a deal for me. I actually don't really notice it when I'm using it. I just thought I'd point it out. And before I end this review, I forgot to mention probably the single most important feature on this gun, and that is the switch to make it shoot fully automatic. And how you do that is you rock the slide back, and underneath there, as you can see, that little metal piece, that is what makes it shoot fully automatic. So right now it's on semi. What you want to do is pull it out just like so, and that is fully automatic. So that's full, semi, full, semi. So totally forgot to mention that in the overall, the overall review of the gun, and I do apologize about that. But that's how you do it. Just didn't want to leave that out in the review, because that is the most important thing on this gun, as it is capable of shooting semi and fully automatic. So it's a very nice feature of the gun, kind of like a Glock if you ask me. So but yeah, so that was the review of the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. The shooting test will be up very soon. The shooting test is just the accuracy test of the gun, as well as the damage test. And give me some suggestions of what I should shoot at with the pistol. Remember, pistols aren't too powerful, so you kind of have to think of something with that in mind. So, but that was a review of the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. Hopefully you enjoyed this review, and until next time, you guys, I'll see you guys later.